And we are live. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Show and Tell. We've got a full house. I'd like to welcome Lindsay's Builds, Lindsay, Mad Doc.
Hello.
GMC Joe Souza from Rusty Rhode Island in the USA. Rusty Rhode Island in the US of A. Hi, Joe.
Howdy.
New Fenris Railroad. Hi, New Fenris. How you doing?
Doing good.
He's not at his desk. Good start.
He stepped away.
I'm actually
brand new to the show this week from Scalemodeling. You can probably tell he's in Australia. We have Peter. Hello, Peter.
G'day.
Me, of course, from history, and up in the top left corner of my screen, the wonderful Connie. That's Dragon Lover 68. Connie, say hi.
Hello.
Okay, and this week, because GMC has to go moderate another channel, we're going to go straight into this. Let me split this apart, put GMC on big. GMC, what have you got for us this week?
Well, I'll start off with the newest. I thought this was for picking up ice.
It looks like an instrument of torture.
Looks like, yeah. All right, ready? These little prongs. So the camera's like backwards. I gotta see how the little things kick out. So when the cable would pick up on these, it would bite into the hay bale, and then the hoister could take it up, put it up in the wall.
For hoisting hay bales.
Yeah, well, you know, it came from an old ice house, and the guy told me they used to use it to pick up ice blocks too. So it was rusted. Start off with the biggest stuff first. Back in the day, whenever fuel stations would order oil, they came in returnable. So this would be filled maybe with 1030 motor oil, another one with 1040, whatever the grades were back in the day. I think they were all straight grades back then. And it would be labeled, and then when it was emptied, it would send it back with the next load. Recyclable, I guess, or reusable. All of nails and everything you bought, as far as hardware and things would come in these barrels back in the day in the hardware stores. Got a whole bunch of these, and I like them. You would go in and take the nails, I guess, and weigh them and put them in the bag. And this milk can came from New Bedford, and geez, I'm having a hard time with the camera.
Don't worry about it, mate.
It's backwards, you know what I mean? When I go left, it goes right. This company got caught watering down the milk, and they wouldn't buy from them anymore, so the company went bankrupt. The farm went bankrupt. I guess they were adding water into the milk to stretch out the number of gallons.
For those in chat and for first-time viewers, Joe shows us bits of Americana each week, and it's just incredible, this stuff.
So kerosene was big here in the Northeast. Everybody had cooking stoves that used kerosene. They'd have furnaces, heaters and stuff in the apartments for kerosene. This is actually glass, and it's wrapped in this wire mesh. Boy, I'm having such a hard time holding. See the tiny spout to fill up the maybe you had a lantern or something like that too. So these were turn of the century, 1900.
Wicked Insanity has just said in chat, nowadays all the milk is watered down.
Yeah. When you would get, there were like numerous guys around here that sold kerosene door to door. They'd come and they'd fill up your 5-gallon can and go right to the next neighbor, the neighbor. In the textile mills, you couldn't smoke. So this type of plug was popular. Everybody chewed tobacco because you couldn't smoke inside of the factories. It's Prince Albert in a can. This is pipe.
You got me completely lost there. That plug thing that you showed earlier, what was that?
It's
Chewing tobacco.
Chewing tobacco.
Oh, so the name of it was plug.
Yeah, plug slices. What? No, that's it. Can you see it? Cut plug. It's basically was chunks of tobacco.
All right.
They'd roll them up and then they'd chop them up. And people
So in America, they called that stuff a plug. So you were chewing on a plug.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Maxwell House coffee. Came in when it had the little thing that you twist around. The little tab would be there, and you twist it off.
So, how old are those, Joe? Do you know?
This is probably 40s. When I look this stuff up online, there's your liver pills. Kidney pills, I'm sorry, kidney.
This stuff makes good reference material as well for people doing dioramas and things like that.
Yeah, I looked them up.
Yeah.
Something I always recommend, X-Lax.
40 tablets, 50 cents. Wow. You can't buy X-Lax
So,
for 40 tablets for under, what, $20 now?
In a lot of the old houses that I would go through.
Oh, no. Hide that, please. God, I don't want to see knob and tube.
Yeah.
I'm an electrician. I see that in the house, I run.
Yeah, we used to do spray foam insulation, but I just kind of threw this together. I got the Morse code key, and I ran the wire up through some of these. Just I hang it on the wall. It's it's too. But might need it one day if I know Morse code when I was a Boy Scout, but not anymore. This thing came out of all these stamps that you use back in the day. There's one that says copy, airmail, confidential. This one is where it came from. It's the State University of New York. This was a stamp that they would put on, to mark the envelope.
Well, you don't see stamps anymore. You just don't see them. Daniel Britton from chat has just said ice from
Fortunately,
ice
this one's starting to fall apart. It has the dates and everything.
Yeah.
I actually I bought a truck from Arizona, and the title was stamped with a Notary Public in 2017. And so I didn't have to pay the penalty. I restamped it to 2022 it was before I went to the registry, so I didn't have to pay the penalties. Worked well. Admitting to larceny online. Out of New Bedford. Bought it in an antique store up there. One of the few things I've actually bought from an antique store. But I liked the double pulley. And just about every wharf down there had, these hanging with ropes to pick up the cargo off the ships and stuff.
Joe, Daniel Britton has just said in chat, ice from Iceborough, Maine, was shipped all around the world in the 1800s.
Yeah. Well, they would pack fish, lobster, and everything in it, too, to transport. So this radio that I'm going to show you is a RCA 6-tube made around 1925. I know I'm moving around a little bit. I'll try to hold it steady. And then it has that, you can see the speaker in the back.
Okay.
That's the Motorola. And it has that, you can see the speaker in the back. This is the speaker here, and that the piece is made, it's called Miller Rubber Company. They're in Akron, Ohio. And they actually made for the ships, where the guys would yell into the thing and would go down to the engine room or whatever. The communication systems that they had on the early ships were basically you were yelling through a pipe, and they made those for the ships here in the area. So when I lived in Virginia, I did quite a bit of metal detecting. And the Petersburg, Virginia battlefield, they dug a big hole. They dug a mine hole underneath the Confederate lines and blew up the line for the Confederates. And unfortunately, when General Burnside ordered the troops in, they didn't have ladders or anything, so they were all down in the bottom of a pit when the Confederates just surrounded the pit and had a turkey shoot on them. So these were a lot of the remnants I found on the battlefield, some horseshoes, cannonball fragments. we turned a lot over to the Battlefield Museum. What it was there was a farm there, and they were carving it up to put in house lots. So the ground had never been dug up until we were there excavating. If you can see the bullets. This here was called a cleaner round. I don't know if you can see on the bottom. See how it has like a slot on the bottom? And it would be like a piece of cloth that was in that hole. So when you fired this bullet, it would clean the barrel.
Looks like about a 56 or 58 caliber muzzle loader.
Now, this is an early revolver.
Wow, look at that.
I don't think this was part of the battle. I mean, I know revolvers, like, you know, these type of revolvers came out before the Civil War, but I doubt very seriously anybody had this there. I think this was later dropped because it's definitely a 6-shooter, but, you know, with modern rounds. And this was a tool. But then I found this, I think, as a brooch. I think that, I don't know when that was lost, but it was old and I liked it. It's interesting that the General Burnside, who was in charge of the attack, was relieved from his command. But if you look at his picture, he's got these big sideburns, and that's where sideburns came from. You understand what the saying sideburns was? Because of General Burnside's hair. It's interesting.
Oh, Joe, I found I heard show you something real quick. Oh, I like the little mud scraper. See if you recognize one of these.
Like a skillet. I can't read the name on it though.
It's a Wagner ware from Sydney, Ohio.
Interesting.
And what's funny about that is that's actually where I grew up.
Not sure what kind of, the little terrier, I guess, but it's cast iron.
Doorstop.
Yeah, it's to hold the door open
yeah.
in the old houses. So I bought them just like this. I didn't. I was at an antique flea market and I found that, and the price was right. I got that and some toys. That's about all I got for this week.
Thank you so much, Joe. As usual, incredibly interesting stuff. I love the Americana. I really do. I know you're in a hurry to get off and go.
Your eyes, our electrician here.
I have PTSD over that stuff. I actually walked into one of those lines one day. It was an active unit in a house, and I didn't know it was there.
Yeah, and they're not even covered wire. It's just
it's just copper wire running through the attic. About 3 foot apart.
Just in answer, a quick answer to a question in chat. There's some guys wondering why they haven't got a blue spanner, and lots of people do. Everyone who chats on my live streams on my page gets a blue spanner. So it's nothing to do with who I like and who I don't like. I just tend to give everyone a blue spanner, and I will get to you eventually. Back to Joe. Joe, whiskey.
almost forgot. Don't forget your ink.
Whiskey there for a second. Joe, I know you've got to get off and moderate on the Bad Chad channel tonight. Good luck on that. And hopefully we'll see you again next week.
Out from Rusty, Rhode Island.
Good night, Rusty, Rhode Island. Thank you, Joe, so much. And we are going to go straight on to Lindsay.
Oh, I knew you would. Okay.
This is Lindsay, Mad Doc, as he's known to his friends. Lindsay, what have you got for us this week, my friend?
All right.
All right, good night. I'm going to just watch until I have to go on the other one. Good night, guys.
Thank you, mate. It's all yours, Linz.
So it's playing up again. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the Queen Elizabeth battleship. Served in both World Wars, World War I and World War II. In the First World War, she only fired in anger probably 2 or 3 times. She did mostly convoy duties. Second World War, well, she was laid up after the First World War, and then she was recommissioned for the Second World War, and she also did convoy duties in the Second World War, and she was scrapped in 1948. So the build is a Trumpeter kit. Small amount of photo etch on it. It's just a standard photo etch that come with the kit. The only thing I had to buy was the railings for extras. The build took me, I think it was about 6 months, and she's ready to go into a dio over the winter. I did add a little bit of extras instead of these being these bars that come out, you know, for sending stuff from ship to ship. I brought these outwards, and then I rigged them all and had these little bits put on and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a nice little build. So yeah,
Daniel Britton says, good ship for superstructure.
Yeah, she was a dreadnought. So yeah, that's that.
You mentioned it was Trumpeter. Now, I didn't really know a lot about Trumpeter until the last, I don't know, maybe it's 4 or 5 years. But
Yeah.
everyone's saying good things about their kits. I mean, I don't think anyone's come across a bad kit by them yet.
I've never come across a bad kit by Trumpeter, not in ships. I have in military stuff, but not ships. Ships, they all seem to produce very good ships.
What about value for money on that kit, mate? What did that cost you? Can you remember?
I bought it off an auction, and I only paid, I think it was £25 for it. The only thing that was missing was the decals for
Absolute bargain.
For the planes, but I've now got some, so I can add decals to it.
David JM says it was damaged by Italian frogmen in Alexandria in Egypt in World War II.
Oh, was it?
Oh, we're getting some history now from the people in chat. Always good.
Yeah, that's a bit of extra knowledge.
There was a question further up by Annette. Yes, I think we are streaming to several channels, and different channels have different people in the chats. So if somebody makes a if you see one of the comments come through, because
yeah,
I think we're going to Lindsay's channel, my channel, Little History. I think we're still on Oz's channel.
Yeah, I never sent it over to my channel.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I do intend to put this in a dio over the winter, and I'm going to put a Liberty ship with it, which I've already built.
Will you be doing full water effects and all that lot with the waves and all that stuff?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm going to put this one in rough seas.
Well, if anyone's not subscribed to Lindsay's channel, please do. I will be putting links in the description after the show is over for everybody's channel. So don't worry if you don't get to it now. It's going to be awesome watching Lindsay make the ocean effects and water effects. I always find that incredible because basically I can't do it. I've tried it. It just ends up in a big mess. MP Model Plastic says, yes, the Dreadnought was the best battle cruiser in World War I. Going through some more chat. Prince Eugen. Daniel Britton says, my Prince Eugen is a Trumpeter. My brand spanking new Devastator is also Trumpeter. So we're getting some good comments about Trumpeter as a model company. And that really is stunning work, Lindsay. Thank you for showing it.
Thank you.
If you're sticking around, mate, and you want to show us some more, you can do.
Oh, I suppose I can show you one more later in the show if you've got time.
Excellent. I mean, we've got 3 spots left. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the studio at the moment. So yeah, we've got enough. We've got space for 3 if anybody else wants to take part. I think I'm going to move swiftly on to Connie.
Okay.
Get my windows up.
Okay.
We'll get to you soon, Peter. Don't worry. Moving on to
background
Dragon
up so you can see. This is one of the what I use. on these, they were the, I believe this was a WizKids or a Reaper gaming model. You know, they just come primed and gray.
When you say gaming model, is that like for Warhammer or something like that?
For like Dungeons and Dragons,
Right.
and there's a few other tabletop games that have dragons for them.
Daniel Britton's just said, wow, a big wow. So I think he's impressed with that.
But
Actually, I
this
think
was
that was
part,
your whiz kid.
yeah, I think this is, because I think with the horns, it supposedly, you know, was marketed as a black dragon. But I made him an earth dragon because he was part of my elemental. I think 2 weeks ago I showed ice and fire.
Very nice.
And I really wish some of the metallic paints would show up a little bit better.
So that comes as a complete actual model. So there's no building involved in that, but the painting you have to do
No,
yourself.
the painting and the stand work is all on.
And what kind of paints did you use on that, Connie?
I use a variety of Vallejo and Army Painter, but the metallics are my favorite brand is a company called Turbo Dork. They're out of, I believe, California. But they started out with just a handful, and now I think they've got close to 60, I think. They keep coming out with more colors.
Wow.
And that's,
stunning.
like I said, that's my earth dragon, and this is my water dragon.
And you've tried the water effects as well. I'm so jealous. I just can't. I've tried
Actually,
it. It
that
ends
is
up in a
just
mess.
strictly poured resin. And then when it's set, I use clear Mod Podge to get the ripples by the rocks.
So
It's good. Looks nice.
it might,
Yeah, just
it
use
might
the
be a dumb
glossy.
question, but because I'm not used to it, how do you get rid of the air bubbles in the resin when you poured it?
I just poured it really slow, and some people use like a hair dryer to pull
Use a
the
hair
bubbles
dryer.
up.
Use a hair dryer, a straw. You can, if you're real careful, you can use a butane torch. That's pretty much what I do with model trains. I use regular pour in place water effects in that from like Woodland Scenics and that.
Yeah, the biggest thing is when you mix the resin, try not to put a lot of air into it. You know, do it. Because I was I mixed a very small amount.
That really is superb. Absolutely superb.
Yeah. And I do have one more for this week, and this is actually one I printed off on my 3D printer. And I did have to put him together.
Do you name your dragons, Connie?
Some of them, when they tell me their names.
Wow.
My Earth Dragon, the first one, he was Rocky. My second one was Dancer, short for River Dancer. And this guy hasn't, I finished him not too long ago, so he hasn't told me his name yet.
By the way, for everyone watching and in chat, Connie doesn't just make dragons. There are quite some stunning other kits that Connie and styles of hobby that Connie does.
Oh,
yeah. It's something different every week I see on your channel, Connie.
Oh, yeah. Well, what I currently have on my bench right now is micro Legos.
Go on then. Let's have a look.
Well, I am doing a Chinese temple.
Okay.
That's micro Lego.
Yes. Let me see if I can find my comparison that I had earlier. Okay. This is your typical 1x2. Actually, let me switch cameras real quick to get a better look.
God forgive me again. I've never heard of micro Lego. I've never heard of
Well, it's micro brick. Lego doesn't do
Right.
there's your standard 1x2.
Hmm.
That's your 1x2 in the micro size.
I'm just going to put my magnifying glasses on because I can't even see that. In case you didn't know, in chat and everyone watching, I am an old git, so my eyes aren't what they. Wow,
This is very small.
not a kit for
Yeah.
me.
Well, the advantage I find to them is I can do a very large kit, several thousand pieces in a very small footprint.
For something that kind of size, how long would that take you to build?
Oh, it depends on how long I'm sitting there working on it. I've done this just setting up for this stream.
Excellent. Connie, thank you so much for taking part in this week's show. It's always a
Yes.
pleasure. Join us again sometime. I'm going to move swiftly
Okay.
on because Peter's been waiting quite some
Yeah.
time over there. Thank you, Connie.
Oh, yes. I'll see you on the next time I can.
Thank you so much. We'll chat later. Peter, welcome, first timer, newbie.
Hello. Yes, newbie in more ways than one. Oh gosh.
What have you got for us then, Peter?
All right. What have I got? Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is so that's the 1200 Yamato by Monochrome, which is actually a trumpeter kit. I finished building that a few months ago. It took me about 5 months to build, which is pretty quick. I tend to build things quickly. Once I get started, I can't stop.
About how many hours a day would you spend on a model?
All right. So when I wasn't working, I'd happily sit at the bench there for 8 to 10 hours a day, no problem. Now that I'm working, probably down to about 4 hours a day. It's addictive, isn't it? But what I'm thinking of doing is I have it over on the cabinet under my TV. So I'm going to go over there, pick it up, bring it across so you can get an idea of the scale of it. And you can have a bit of a quick look at it. All right.
Peter, walk slowly, walk carefully.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't sneeze.
We don't want this clip going on Fail Army.
No. Okay. Here we go.
Holy
Oh,
Jesus,
wow.
mother of God.
Whoa,
Oh my
fantastic.
God, it's almost a fun.
Excellent.
What is that?
That is-
3
This
meters?
is a monster.
Holy cow.
Oh, what is it? 3 feet?
Oh,
So
wow.
it's 3 feet long, 1,350 centimeters, so nearly 1.5 meters.
Wow.
God.
Whoa.
Very nice.
Yeah,
That is absolutely stunning.
it's quite wide too. So
Peter,
Yeah.
is that a straight kit build or is there aftermarket on that as well?
right, so the aftermarket on this is the deck. I got the wooden deck on. I also had metal barrels for the turrets, but I didn't end up using them. I found the plastic ones had more detail. Anchor chains metal, but that's about it. It's mainly the wooden deck was aftermarket.
Ian
Yeah.
Fraser has just said in chat, that is a monster. I think he summed up all our feelings.
You said 1.5 meters?
I've
Yeah,
got to
close to it. Yeah,
William,
Yeah.
that thing's almost as long as I am tall.
yeah. Too
That
big to
thing's
play
about
with in the
5
bath. I'll just go put this gently
Okay.
down.
Everyone in chat, feel free to ask questions. I know there's a major question on my mind about that kit, and that is the cost. That must have cost a fortune.
All right. So the cost is Australian dollars, so you'd have to convert. It's about 750 Australian dollars plus an extra $100 for the aftermarket. And then the paint, of course, paint adds up as well. So it's quite a bit of paint on there. That's all done in the new product called Outlaw Paints. I don't know if you guys have heard of that yet. So,
I think Moz has been touting the Outlaw paint for a while now. I don't know if you know Moz's channel. Big Airfix guy, but he's in with another guy who's importing it. So I actually can't wait to get my hands on it because they come in. I've been told they come in already sprayable bottles, already pre-mixed.
Right. Yeah, it's all ready to go straight out of the bottle. Jason is the owner of the company who's in Australia here, and gladly, and he supplied all the paint for that. But not only that, but he specifically color matched the whole red and the Japanese grey as accurate as he possibly could for those the paint for that. So yeah, great stuff. So that's that. No more questions on that. Other than, I actually had to pay to have moved the TV and mounted up on the wall so I could fit a cabinet under there to put this thing on. I haven't got a case for it yet. That'd probably cost me nearly as much as the model.
Thing is, it looks from here to be museum quality, and it's. I've said it time and again that there's so many modelers who spend so much time building these, and there's nowhere we can put them on display for everyone to see, because I think there should be a museum somewhere, like we have a National Railway Museum. We need a national model or an international model museum somewhere in the world.
Yeah. See, that's one reason why I actually started a YouTube channel, was to share what I'm doing, because I live on my own here. I've got no family around, so nobody sees these but me. And so if I can get it out there and people can see it, that's an inspiration for me to keep going, you know.
Anyone who's watching the show right now and thinking that these models are just too much for them, or that it scares you off, don't be scared, because everyone's got to start somewhere. And I was talking to Peter before the show started, and he mentioned that he'd only been modelling for 3 years, and he's straight into what I would class as one of the most difficult models to build. I mean, I've seen this being built on numerous channels, and it always looks, I think to myself, wow, I couldn't handle that. But I think, yeah, I could. If I spent the time on it and took it slowly, anything is possible. Anyone can build these. And getting into the hobby, it doesn't have to be $700, although it's nice to be able to spend that on a model every now and again. But prices start at like $5, $10, and it's a great way to get into this hobby. And there's nothing I could recommend more that relieves stress than jumping on the modeling table and just getting down to it. Yeah.
The biggest restriction I've found, well, now is time. See, back in the early days when, like I said, I've only doing this for 3 years. I never did any models as a kid. I was busy on skateboards and roller skates and push bikes, you know. But back then, even then, kids modeling had time because they didn't have mobile phones and everything they got today. So the skill comes with just doing it. And now you've got the advantage of the internet and YouTube and everything else to watch other people and learn from. And really, you can tackle something like this. Not a problem at all. I mean, all right, it's probably a bit much to go as your first model. But I started building ships when I did, just a few years ago, and starting it on the channel. And then I just changed. And as you can see, I'm into other stuff now. I've gone on to bikes and cars and improving your skill, So
I can see the motorbikes behind you and the racing cars as well. So
yeah, well, that's something I'll just quickly show you here. This is what I'm doing at the moment, which is quite outside my comfort zone of building. So this is the Tamiya Tyrrell P34 1/20th, I think the scale is. I'm just checking the box. I should know, shouldn't I? Yeah, it is the 1/12 scale. So this, I mean, how realistic is that for a model?
Wow, fantastic.
That's ridiculous detail.
Oh my God.
There is no aftermarket on that. This is straight out of the box build. It includes everything from your fuel lines on the carburetors, spark plug leads.
This Tyrrell is
look at that.
It looks like an RC car.
It
But
does.
it's a plastic
it does.
model.
Yeah.
I was about to say, is that an R? I was about to ask, was it an RC?
No,
'Cause
but
holy,
it does have, if I hold it carefully, the steering wheel, so all the front wheels turn. It's 4 wheels. It's quite a unique one. These are air vents that will go under the front spoiler to bring the air into the brakes.
Incredible.
But what I've done is I've painted up all the body panels for this, and this was the first for me using the Outlaw paints. I did a 2K clear coat after I put all the decals on. Let me see if you can get a look at what these look like. Something like this,
That's crazy good.
you know.
that is epically crazy good.
And they're all designed just to come off to show off the car as well. But what I've done is I sprayed it on a bit too heavy, and I've caused what they call the orange peel. You can just know get the light right. See that? Yeah. So now I've made work harder for myself. I'm going to have to wet sand and polish this, which I'm really scared of doing. But
now the orange peel, is that caused by dirt and things like that on it, or is it?
No, it's spraying too close and too much and flooding it on. Like you're supposed to do wet coats, and I did like way too wet coats, and that's what happened. But hey, you learn from mistakes. I mean, I could leave it like it is, really. I mean, it doesn't matter. But I want to do a good job, and I want to learn to wet sand, so I'll polish it up, and I start on a spot that can't be seen, and hopefully it'll work out all right. But yeah. So yeah, something different, you know.
I may have missed it while you were talking. What brand is that?
Tamiya.
That's a Tamiya. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's to be expected, isn't it? Tamiya still rule the world as far as quality models go, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, absolutely. Even in most of the RC stuff they did.
Yeah.
Look at it. That's just stunning.
And the detail,
even though it's got a little bit of orange peel, the paintwork looks stunning.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
detail.
I'll polish all that out. I'll fix all that, I'm sure.
Great detail.
Actually, there's
Holy
actually
Go has just said the Yamato is about £370 in the UK.
Yeah.
Daniel Britton is asking, is it a dragster? I can answer that one. No, it's not a dragster. That's a Formula One race car. I would
Yeah, Formula One. Yeah.
6-wheel Tyrrell.
That will probably be the next build, that Brabham BT over there. I might do that. I'm really loving the Formula One cars. I did the motorbikes. Like, I'll quickly show you this one. So this is also a Tamiya kit, and it's what they call a Honda Monkey.
Oh, the monkey. Yeah.
Well,
Honda
Gorilla, actually. This is a Gorilla.
When I was a kid, the next door neighbour had one of those, and they're so much fun.
But you can see the paint came up on real well on this one. This one come up really good. But yeah.
What paint did you use for the metal effect?
Sorry?
What paint did you use for the aluminium and the chrome?
All of it is Outlaw paints.
All of it's Outlaw?
Yeah, this is all Outlaw paints I use now. Yeah.
The chrome looks like real chrome.
Yeah, and this is rum raisin is the color I used for the body work. But yeah, the chrome is beautiful. The chrome comes up beautifully.
I am so impressed with the chrome. I've been experimenting with different chrome effect paints, and the closest I've come to was the cheapest brand I could find, to be honest. But it's still not a mirror finish like you have there. Yeah,
the trick is you do a black gloss undercoat under your chrome, and then put the chrome on. Yeah, so
stunning, absolutely stunning.
So that's about it. That's all I got. Maybe I'll come on next week and show a few others.
Oh, you are welcome, sir. Anytime. Okay, we've got MP waiting in the wings. I'm going to move over to MP so I can figure out my controls. Oz, thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome. No problem. Anytime.
Over to MP we go. What have you got for us this week, MP?
Hello, Terry. I'm in chat and stream. Today I'm impressed to the whole. This is an old kit from the 70s from Matchbox. Today I'm going to show some old kits. One of the first in my collections. This is the Misha Smith B19, the E version. They call the because of the nose. In that version, they have the cannon in the nose and the two machine guns in the wings. This is the Troph version. This is brush painting. This 172 scale. This is a very old kit, one of the first of the Matchbox.
I've said it before. With my eyes the way they are, I couldn't touch that scale. I couldn't do it. But that's exquisite detail. For
You see the details, all everything. And for a kit for the 70s, they are very good molds in that time.
Matchbox are just a model maker you don't hear much of anymore. Do the Matchbox still make models?
No. Matchbox they don't have. The other models they have, it's in the used market for send for model to models. They don't fabric any time.
And the paints you've used on that, whose paints did you use? Is it acrylic or enamel?
These are Tamiya paints. I painting by brush. This is spot by spot. I make some research with the camouflage. I have the files from the Luftwaffe, and I make the research and put the exact color they have in that time in the war.
The decals look smooth as well. You can't really.
Yes. This is the decal from the 7th.
Wow.
And you can see they don't have the shine because I put some varnish to break the effect of the light.
So on these small scale ones, because part of the point of this show is to get people into modeling and into making things. What was the cost of that model?
Well, these models in that time here in Portugal, in that time it's not they have the Hero. It's in Escudos. A model for this one it's about 10 escudos, 15 escudos. It's the equivalent for now in the Heroes time. It's about 7 euros in Europe.
Right.
It's very cheap.
We've got some history coming up about Matchbox model company history by Joe.
Yes, this for me. This is a piece of history in modeling. This is one of the first models I have. But
Yeah, my own heart. One of the first models I made was an ME109. So similar. Oh, we got another one.
I have it here. This is more old. This is for 1969. This is from the 15th anniversary of the Revell.
Wow.
This is a very rare kit that I can find this in my home shop. He was in the corner, but because I'm a little like Sherlock Holmes, I'm inspect everything in the and I found this jewel. This is the name is a Convair R3 trade wing. This is a prototype from the US Navy from the 50s. This was as an hydroplane. You can see here. They have in the nose. I put the articulate. They open the nose. You can see.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
This plane is to help the troops in the Pacific. They land in the water nearby the beach, and they landing the troops, the battalions of troops, and some tanks and jeeps with it's a cargo plane, and they landing in the beach to help against the Japanese.
I always love it when model companies go the extra mile and put working parts on their models. I just find it really good.
This is brush painting. I created the paint because in that time they don't have this. This is the name. The exact name is the dark sea blue from the Navy from World War II. They have in this plane. and I'm work with the exact paints with the percentage. I use the X1 black from Tamiya, and I use the French blue with the Vallejo and calculate the percentage exactly and do the mixer and painting with brush. This is brush, not a brush.
And forgive me, I might have missed it when you first brought the model out. But what brand is that?
This is the first one is Matchbox, and this one the hydroplane, the trade wing. This is from Revell. This is
That's
the 15th anniversary. This is 1969. The model. This is it has an unusual scale. The scale of this is 166.
And a very strange scale. I've never seen anything 166.
It's very old, and the scale it's not usual, because the scale the most small scale is 144 in our days, and this is 166.
MP, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Terry, for the.
I think everyone will agree. We have Lindsay waiting to show us something very special. You can see from the little box there. Join us again next week if you can, MP.
Yes. The next week I'm on again. Okay. Thank
Brilliant.
you, Terry.
Lindsay, I can see what's on your desk, and I want it so bad. Please send it to me for free.
I'll pay the shipping. But it'll come to the United States.
Oh, look at it. That's ridiculous. And by ridiculous, I mean ridiculous good.
I wasn't sure whether I'd shown this before on the first show, but
no, you haven't. You kind of threatened to, because you blew us all away on the first show and cheated. But now we've got competition with Peter for you. I think you're gonna have to bring out some real big guns now.
That's amazing. I'm surprised he hasn't knocked those rails off the side of it. That's really good.
This is the 1350 I Love Kits. HMS Art Royal 1939 configuration. It was a kind of a quite difficult build, actually. There was a lot of problems with it, with warping in the deck and kind of stuff like that. But the build actually turned out quite nicely. I'm not too sure much about her history. All I know is that she was sunk. She went down because a lot of flaws in her design and stuff like that. But that's really all I know about her. It was not a bad build. It was enjoyable at times, but you know what it can be like.
I was watching your streams as you were building this, Lindsay, and I know the most enjoyable part of this was making all the aircraft.
Oh man, don't even go there, Terry.
I remember a few of those.
Just tell us how many aircraft that kit came with.
The aircraft only came with 12 aircraft, and then I pushed the boat out, bought a load more aircraft, and as you can see, she's got a lot more aircraft on it now. I've still got quite a lot of spares. I bought too many. So in the end, I think I built about 25 to 28 aircraft altogether, probably more.
Just to give the audience a sense of scale of the aircraft, could you just hold your finger by the side of one of those aircraft?
In fact, actually, I'll pick one up for you.
And you had to make how many of those in total?
Well, I think about 28 in total.
Okay. I did say that this is an enjoyable hobby.
You didn't say we had to keep our sanity. Some people enjoy it.
That makes it difficult.
I think the worst part about this build was building these aircraft, painting them and decaling them, because there was photo etch in these biplanes.
Wow.
I just ask, is that decals on the deck, or is that painted?
That's all decals.
Right.
Yeah, and I did all the rigging around here as well on the antenna bits and everything else. So
Daniel Britton is asking in chat: is the Ark Royal the ship that took out the Bismarck?
she was there on the second encounter, yeah, as far as I know. But there is a lot of say that it wasn't the Ark Royal. On the second attack, it was one of the others. But I'm sure one of these biplanes took out the rudder, and she was actually from, that plane was from the Ark Royal.
Yeah, there's
So
quite a famous film.
So it must have been the first attack when they disabled her. So yeah.
Yeah, it looks great.
But,
Taboli just kind of agreed with me. You'll have to send me that model so I can make the aircraft RC.
yeah. People can see this on my YouTube channel, being built from start to finish.
Yeah, please, everyone on panel, feel free to put your links into chat so that everybody else can get some subs in for you. And if the people on panel don't, please, people in chat, feel free to put their links in. Thank you so much. I'm busy trying to keep up with the chat here. Lindsay, stunning. I want it. I want it. I want it. And I want the Yamato as well. I'm going to spend a lot of money this year, I think.
I just found that the Yamamoto, I found it's like 500 and something US dollars. I found a couple of them before I flipped back to the channel where I had about the locomotive that I've got. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm going to get in trouble.
Oh, go on. They won't notice. No one will notice.
I'll just pick it up and just.
I'm absolutely blown away. What a show tonight. You know, I was hoping that someone would get a Yamato one because every time I see the box in the model shop, I think, please, wife, let me buy it.
So it gives you a sense of scale.
Look at that. That's beautiful alongside there.
It is absolutely stunning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of good in that.
We need an international modelling museum. I told you, we're going to have to do it.
It's depressing when you come to the end of a build, isn't it? And,
It's a sigh of relief.
Oh, it could be, yeah. A relief too.
Well, guys, you can join in my madness. My models never come to an end because I always end up RCing them. And that's an adventure in itself. Okay, we've got quite busy chat right now. I'm just going to catch up with the chat. David JM says she was sunk by the U-81. I didn't know that. Okay, we've got all the links going in now. I'm just going to quickly flash through all the chat. HMS Victorious launched the famous Swordfish. So it was the Swordfish that took out the rudder from Victorious. Is that what Craig is saying?
I think that was the second attack,
The second attack, okay.
Yeah.
I think Joe's gone now, or we get the full history. Lindsay, thank you so much. It doesn't look like anybody else is queuing now to get on the show. And that leaves me to make some noise, which makes me incredibly happy. Let me go over to my table. Again, thanks to everyone who took part in this week's show. Regular viewers on my channel will have seen this before and know that I like to make noise and I like things that are RC. And my collection is mostly Tamiya 1:16 scale tanks. They're not a beginner tank, mainly because of the price. These things currently brand new, boxed on eBay or any other site. You can get a Tiger one for about £500-600 now, but the latest ones by Tamiya are bordering on the £1,000 mark. Now, if I take the lid off just for a second and switch the battery on, we can show you some of the quirks and features of the Tamiya Tiger 1. If I can find the on switch, that is. Right, are we on? Let me see some lights, please. Sorry about this. Oh, we're on. Get in there. Okay, you might want to turn your speakers down. Or if you've got headphones on, likewise. Now I've got to find where this clips in. And there we go. Okay.
You're going to need to redo your camera.
Oops. Thank you, Fenris. This is what they call a full option tank by Tamiya. I've already told you how expensive they are. This one has been battered and bruised running down the garden. Because I don't leave these on the shelf. I actually take them around the garden and I turn myself back into a 10-year-old child and I play with them. I'm not ashamed of it. It's what they're for, and they are so much fun. So if I just turn this on, hopefully it's not going to go shooting off. And already I'm grinning like a 5-year-old. Okay. So, fine. Just things. So we've got full barrel movement. What I need to do is move the camera just a little bit around so you can see this. More fun you cannot have. You cannot have more fun. And also we've got machine gun. I don't know if you can see that, but there we go. So that is the Tamiya 1:16 scale Tiger 1. Just a stunning piece of kit. If you can afford one, get one. You will not, I promise you, in your life, you will not have more fun. I run these around the garden with the King Tigers and the Pershings and the Shermans. My kids sometimes join me, and even my wife sometimes even has a go.
Oh God, there goes my savings. I'm going to be Googling these, finding the price. Oh, guess what I'm into now, everyone? Jeez, that's amazing. That looks great.
But everything that you would have on the real tank, it's got. Tamiya actually went to the Bovington Museum to record the audio off of their tank for this. So,
right. That is the actual sound.
It's the actual sound of a Tiger 1. I could be wrong on that because I might be thinking of my King Tigers, but either way, it's the real sound of a Tiger. And obviously, Bovington are the only place that's got a real working Tiger 131.
So did you have any problems putting that together? Were there any issues?
Yeah, lots. Not on Tamiya's part, though, on my part. I built this around about 20, 30 years ago. And
right.
I was new to the whole weathering process. I was new to putting all the electronics together inside. And the instructions from Tamiya at that time weren't the best. There's a lot of features on it that weren't included in the instructions that the remote control can do. Like how to get the gun to work, how to make it the muzzle flash and whatever. So I remember struggling with that, and I actually put the wheels together wrong. The track wouldn't sit properly, and they kept on falling off going around the garden. But it was all my fault, not paying enough attention to the instructions. And usually that's the case. I think a lot of people suffer from that. They'll race into a model, just stick it all together how they think it should be without examining the instructions too much. The box that it came in, beautiful box art, the unwrapping of it and the unboxing was a thing to behold because Tamiya do it right. There was a whole I should have got the brochure out. I've got it stored away. There was a brochure with it telling you the history, lots of color photographs, lots of reference photographs and painting. The decals, beautiful. Not now, of course, because this has been in the rain as well. And you can see what happens when your decals go in the rain when you don't use decal fix. They just slide back off. But back then, I didn't know about decal fix. And there was no YouTube for doing any research back then as well. So, boys and girls, we are about at the end of our hour here. I thank everyone for joining us. Unless anyone's got any more questions, we're going to wrap this up. I'll just get to the... Dominic Cuckoo says, that's really awesome. It brings out the child. Boy, does it. We are coming to the end of the show. Just get through the last of the chat. Please, guys, feel free to put your links into chat for your channels if you've got a blue spanner. If you haven't got a blue spanner on my channel, then I stream from 6 o'clock every day. Everyone who comes to my channel gets a blue spanner. It helps out everyone because you can advertise on my channel as much as you want. I'm not an advertising Nazi. So we are going to do our goodbyes. Let me bring everyone in. Lindsay, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for letting me come on. It's been enjoyable.
Mate, it's not a matter of letting. I enjoy looking at your stuff every week. It's just unbelievable. Moving over to Connie. Thank you, Lindsay. Connie.
I enjoy it as always.
Connie does regular streams as well. So does Lindsay. I keep on forgetting. I did write a script earlier on, but it's gone out the window. Connie streams regularly as well for not just American audiences because it's quite early. It's a little bit mid-evening for us in the UK.
I normally go about noon Eastern time US. I think it's 5 UK time on Sundays. I partner up with New Fenris, but this week will be the last one until the end of November because we have
tell us why.
we have a Renaissance festival that we both participate in.
Awesome.
And go to, and it runs.
Are you going to be posting
weekends.
videos of that on your channel as well, Connie?
I might. You never know. We might actually do We might do a small stream if we can get halfway decent signal. We might do a small pop-up stream.
Awesome, Connie. Once again, thank you for joining us. I'm going to go over to Peter.
Hey,
Peter.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. And
no, it was an absolute pleasure. You blew us away, mate.
Now, Peter,
next week I'll come back with some motorcycles I've been building. I think.
Excellent. Same time next week. Then the green room is open from 8 o'clock. Just pop in and we'll get you up. Where's Fenris? Let me find Fenris.
What was the model that you did? The Yamato. Which one was that? The Trumpet.
That was
Trumpeter.
Monochrome.
Okay.
This one here.
Yeah, the beast.
Yeah.
So it's gallery models or monochrome models, or there's another name. Depends where you are. So the Asia Pacific area gets monochrome. I think America gets another one, but it's basically a trumpeter kit. It's just the distributors put their own name on the box.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
So
I just found it on one of the channels. Through Google, and I saw it's like $500 US. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, it's not cheap. I did the whole build on my channel as well, from the unboxing right through to the whole build. So if anyone wants to get some tips while they're building it, it's the way to go. Yeah. Well, good.
Thank you, Peter, so much. I will see you next week, hopefully. New Fenris. Going to say goodbye to everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, mate. We'll catch you next week if you can make it. Oh no, we can't. You're at the Renaissance.
No, okay. Yeah, Canon will just be going off at this time next week for the show. Yeah.
MP, always a pleasure to have you on, sir. Would you like to say good night to the audience?
Yes, good night to Terry, Connie, and to Fenris, Peter, everything in the chat. Thank you for the inviting. And for next week, I'm bring some another models in a winter camouflage from the campaign in Russia.
Oh, good. Nice.
Just leaves, I think, for me, I haven't missed anyone out, have I? 1 second. I've lost all my windows now. Give me a second. This is where it turns completely unprofessional. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone. We're back next week, 9 o'clock, Saturday night. Green Room is open for 8. Everyone is welcome to join. If you are a maker, show us your stuff. But for now, it's good night. Good night, everybody!
Good night.
Bye.
And